So, I had a little bit of a message to tell you guys. When I was like 14 or so, around the time when I figured out that my father was a child molester, I had this dream and it scared the shit out of me because it was like I was walking. I went to his house. I was by myself. Walked to his house. Now, mind you, he lived in Ohio. I live in Jersey. So I walked down the street to his house and I opened the door. The door was open. So I go inside the house and I see his wife in the first living room with a bullet shot wound to her right here. Now everybody know what this is, right? Then I walked into the next room. She was laying on the couch on her back. Then I walked into the next living room before you get to the kitchen and the stairs, and I seen my father on another couch with the same bullet wound to his head. I say bullet wound, but it could have been anything. I don't know. But anyway, saw that, and I stood there and I'm looking and I'm like, why is both of them dead? Like, I'm looking for my little sisters and brothers and none of them are there. Only those two bodies was in the house. And so I'm like wondering and I'm looking at them and I'm like, yo, what happened? All of a sudden, I seen a podium appear. Like the podiums in the church. Then when the podium appeared, a book appeared. When the book appeared, somebody in all black with you couldn't see the face. It was kind of like hanging over his face like this. I say it's the Grim Reaper. I think it's the Grim Reaper. So, whoever it is that comes to get your soul, right? Comes to get you when you die, whatever. You know, I don't know who it was, but I thought it was the Grim Reaper. At that young age, I was like, oh my God, that's the Grim Reaper. And I'm looking at the Grim Reaper and he starts reading out of this book. I don't understand the language he's speaking. So I'm just watching him read out of this book. All of a sudden, this black hole, it started small and then it starts spiraling biggest and it started getting big. So it filled up like a big ass hole on the floor. When I saw that, I looked over to my father and his spirit rose out of his body. It didn't acknowledge that I was there. It was kind of like it was dead. So I'm watching his spirit rise up like this. And it's not like when somebody walks. It's kind of like somebody picks your spirit up from your chest and then stand you up straight like that. And that's how I seen him do it. He rose up and then stood up like this. So his face was facing the Grim Reaper. Then his spirit, his body was still on the couch. His spirit floated over, was hovering over that black hole. And then with that black hole, his feet started going in. Then his whole fucking spirit went into that black hole. When I woke up, I was crying. I told my mother, I'm like, Ma, I need to call Daddy. I need to call Daddy. Something wrong. Something about to happen to him. So mind you, I already knew that he was a child molester and all of that. But I wasn't thinking about that part. I was thinking like, yo, I got to warn him. Something wrong. Something about to happen. Why when I called him, he started laughing when I told him what happened? So I'm just saying all of this to say these people know that they signed their soul over to the devil. They know what they're doing. When we kids, we don't know what our parents are doing. We don't know what they signed up for. We don't know nothing about nothing. And just like the guy Enoch, I just started following him. Just like he said, angels are born into demonic families. My father was demonic. And then it turns out that he's not even my real father, but I was raised to think that he was my father. So that's why the connection was like that. Basically, God was showing me that he's going to pay for what he did. And he went into that black hole. I just want y'all to be aware that this shit is not, it's not easy for me to explain these stories. Like, a lot of the times I just keep it to myself. But I think that it's time for me to start speaking, because that's what I'm moved to do. My higher self is telling me to let people know that whatever people do to you, you got to look deeper into it. And when you get dreams, you got to keep them dreams with you. You got to understand those dreams, interpret them dreams, break them down. I don't know, like what happened to my stepmom, because now she married to somebody else and she seems happy. I don't know, like, I feel like God's going to punish her for allowing him to abuse her kids and the kids that he had visiting his house, me and my sister. And abusing her. I don't know, bro. I'm just saying. This shit deep.